All of these are LARPers, but they're only one that you watched before. Okay. Let's see.
Get ready for a surprise! She can dance. She can sing.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a franchise with over a decade's worth of content, spanning countless games, books, and now a movie. There's a reason that no matter whose timeline you watch, they all look different. Making a FNAF timeline is not easy. There are so many ways you can interpret this story, and this is mine. So let's start at the beginning.
So 1970s.
Back in the 70s, a company called Fazbear Entertainment got its start by creating different props and mascot costumes for carnivals, and specifically for something called the Fall Fest. The Fall Fest featured various mascot characters, such as a bird, an elephant, and the most popular of all, Fredbear and Bonnie. These specific mascot costumes were so popular, Fazbear Entertainment opened a dedicated restaurant for them called Fredbear's Family Diner, featuring the same Fredbear and Bonnie mascot costumes from the Fall Fest. What Fazbear Entertainment didn't account for, though, was one of their animatronics from the Fall Fest going rogue, ending in a giant fire, with most of everything from the Fall Fest being destroyed.
Okay, what I don't understand is in 1970s, they had such a high-end AI that it could go rogue and could have its own consciousness. Like, how? In 1970s, people just to have like a basically, bro, you know how big of a computer they need to have? But somehow these guys in a circus that had a restaurant built this kind of high-end things. I mean, come on now. This is done by LARPer, is already wrong. Bad story design. He was just smart like that. It's not about smart, it's about components, bro. I don't think he had the money or the resources to design his own components, his own CPU, motherboard, and those kind of things, right? Like, let me show you a computer in 1970. Like, computers in 1970s, right? Like, is this huge? Right? And these computers were ass. They could barely do anything. Like, they had to build this kind of like servers design for them to actually have some sort of like to be efficient, right? And then are you telling me with this kind of components available, they somehow build a high-end AI without any proper cooling, without any proper power supply? Like, how? I mean, obviously it's a game, but still though. Edwin, he just built a friend. Or whatever his name was. He'd have had the money. I don't think so. He didn't have the money to design his own components. Bro, you know how hard it is, or how much cooling power you need? Bro, even now, we have multiple fans for my PC, for example. They didn't have a single fan like that. He made equipment from the ground up. He built different microwave with Google. Are we talking about the game where child souls possess animatronics? No, but here's the thing. No, this one. I'm talking about this one. Like, here, child possessed in animatronics. I mean, obviously it's a game. I understand. So I'm not like that nitpicking, but still, like, it's like, come on now. What's $2-3?
Destroyed.
Like this one, for example, that went rogue. I don't think a child possessed it. It's just that the AI malfunctioned. And similar to how the Mimic is. Like, I'm pretty sure Mimic is in this around of time. Plus the story has changed like 5 times, yeah.
The specifics about the animatronic that went rogue and the fire are unknown and will likely be revealed next year in FNAF's next big release. Although we don't know much about how this...
Like the Mimic, for example, right? Like, obviously, like when they say animatronics, technically animatronics doesn't have computer components, right? What they have is like switches. They are like remote control, right? They're like remote control. They don't have their own processing abilities. The children possessing robots, and you're saying a guy making extremely powerful AI is a weird part. Of course, it's a weird part. Here's the thing. Either you have sci-fi or either you have fantasy. You cannot have both. Like for example, if you cannot explain something, for example, let's say I create a story and we cannot explain something why this happened with logic, right? We say, oh yeah, it's magic, right? But if you're talking about something that can logically be explained, like for example animatronics, if you say like, oh yeah, for example, oh yeah, kids getting possessed, understandable, right? But then you can't say that, oh yeah, he's a genius as well. Like it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. That's not how it works. That's just bad story writing. Like actually, like, that's a bad story writing.
Fire occurred, we do know that after the fire, Fazbear Entertainment started phasing out of the mascot costume era. They needed something new. The two men who helped found Fazbear Entertainment, William Afton...
Because think of it, if for example Edwin or whatever was able to build this in 1970, right? And NASA had to build this huge ass computer that had the same amount of processing power as our phone current time, and could barely send people to the moon. But when I say barely, I mean that's a bit of exaggeration, but still, like. And are you saying that this guy could do this in a fucking backyard? Like, come on now.
And Henry Emily stepped up to the plate. William Afton was mostly the businessman of the two, handling all of the money,
true.
while Henry was the more creative one, with him being in charge of building most of the animatronics and props for the company.
And then here's another thing: if Ed was such a genius to create such a high-end AI or animatronics, why did he build such a spring trap, such a flawed design? Why did he have such a flawed design? Is a question. Like, why is his design so flawed? At least, like, what about, like, how are you going to answer that? Like the mimic, right? Like this, like he created the mimic at the same time he was creating this, right? The mimic design or the animatronics in the mimic, like the, for example, the nurse or whatever, they're such a like beautifully designed. They're beautiful. They're not flawed, right? They're smart. They function smoothly. But then, oh yeah, Springtrap, that a single amount of moisture will like kill you. Like, what?
Fest era of the company coming to a close, they were only left with Fredbear's Family Diner, the standalone restaurant created for the Fredbear and Bonnie characters. In order to replace the mascot versions of Fredbear and Bonnie, Henry went to work on new versions of the characters, eventually creating the new Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, the same characters but with new designs and new suits. Henry called them Springlock suits. These suits are able to double as both an animatronic and a suit that the employees could wear. To switch the suit from animatronic mode to suit mode, the employees could use a hand crank to pull back the animatronic parts, leaving room for them to climb inside. The spring locks that were helping to hold back those animatronic parts were very sensitive though, and with even a little bit of moisture, the spring locks could potentially snap shut, crushing and killing whoever was inside. But if that ended up happening, Fazbear Entertainment had some common sense procedures set in place.
In case that the spring locks come loose while you are wearing a suit, please try to maneuver away from populated areas before bleeding out, as to not ruin the customer experience.
Like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. This somewhat genius guy creates this new mechanic that's known as Springtrap, and a simple moisture can cause someone to bleed out and die. Like, what? How? Oh my god.
Fredbear's Family Diner ended up being super successful for William and Henry, so much so that other companies tried replicating it. Another company proceeded to rip off Fazbear Entertainment's old mascot characters by creating their own animatronic versions of them. The leader of the group was Ned Bear, a direct copy of Fredbear, followed by a hippo, an elephant, and a frog. All characters from the Fall Fest, and all with slightly different designs to avoid copyright issues. But while the rival company was able to replicate the designs,
I understand, but come on. This guy was able to create one of the smartest AI that ever has been existed, right? And that can sustain itself, almost has infinite energy, right? has basically superconductive heat transfer, right? He's superconductive, almost no energy waste, almost no heat, right? Can survive, can mimic into anything, can change shapes. Around this time, by the way. And then he created such a flawed mechanic. Like, oh my god. I mean, obviously, this was created first, and then he created the mimic. But if he was so genius, why would he let this flaw be kept? Right? Why would he let this flaw be happen?
Henry's state-of-the-art technology. Their robots were poorly made and had to have giant batteries with exposed wires on stage with them. Naturally, the rival company failed and ended up being bought out by Fazbear Entertainment. With all of the success from Fredbear's Family Diner, William and Henry decided to branch out and create more characters for a new restaurant. In 1983, William and Henry opened Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, featuring Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. With the opening of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Fazbear Entertainment was experiencing success like they've never seen before. But with two restaurants now open at the same time, more success also meant more work for William and Henry. The duo were so wrapped up in work that they started neglecting their own families. William was the father of 3 kids, the eldest, Michael, the crying child, and Elizabeth. The crying child has yet to have a 100% confirmed name, so for this video, he will just be called the crying child. Meanwhile, Henry had 1 kid, a daughter named Charlie. The business partners spent most of their days working, so they both created different ways of taking care of their kids. Henry was the robotics genius, so he used his talents to create a new animatronic to watch Charlie for him. It was called the security puppet. This animatronic would sit by the door of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and make sure that Charlie wasn't able to leave the building. This made it so Charlie could play at the restaurant while Henry worked, without Henry having to worry about her leaving the building or getting kidnapped. The robot was linked directly to a green bracelet that Charlie was wearing. If Charlie, wearing the green bracelet, tried leaving the building, the security puppet would spring into action. William, on the other hand, was the businessman of the company. He cared more about making money, but also saving money. Naturally, he decided to just force his eldest son, Michael, to babysit while he was at work. Michael was mostly in charge of babysitting the crying child. The crying child didn't have many friends, but he did have a close relationship with his plushies. These plushies were of characters from his favorite show, Fredbear and Friends, Fazbear Entertainment's newest cartoon, featuring Fredbear, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The crying child's favorite character, though, was Fredbear. He especially loved his Fredbear plushie. Although he loved the plushie version of the characters, the animatronics would soon become a different story. One day, while visiting Fredbear's Family Diner, the crying child saw something that would scar him for the rest of his life. While wandering the restaurant, he walked by the employees only room, where an employee accidentally left the door open. Inside the room was his father, William Afton, helping another employee into a spring Bonnie suit. But through the eyes of the crying child, this looked like someone was literally being stuffed into an animatronic suit. The crying child was so young that he wasn't educated on how the mascot characters worked, so seeing a human be put inside of one terrified him. When a child experiences something traumatic, their brain naturally tries finding ways to deal with that trauma. The crying child's way of dealing with his trauma was by creating an imaginary friend. This imaginary friend took the form of the object he loved the most, his Fredbear plushie. His new imaginary friend Fredbear followed him wherever he went, shape-shifting into flowers, hiding behind cars, and in the sewers, with nobody being able to see him except for the crying child. When the crying child was overwhelmed, the plushie would talk to him and try to calm him down. Even when the plushie wasn't around, it was still able to speak to him.
Okay, I have another question. Like, when people in like fantasies, I don't know if this is real or not, okay, but in like in medias or like fantasy or cartoons, movies or whatever, but they have like this persona they created, like the imaginary friend. Why is their imaginary friend like 10 times more smarter than the person imagining them, right? Or more wiser, more calmer, like
him because it lived in his mind.
Like, come on, stop taking all the processing power. Give it to me as well.
While the crying child was dealing with the trauma of seeing what he thinks was someone being stuffed into a suit, his brother Michael was only making it worse. Michael knew about what happened with his younger brother and used it against him. Every day while babysitting the crying child, Michael would put on a Foxy mask, hide somewhere in the house, and jump scare his little brother.
my god, I'm really scared. Fuck. Why am I getting jump scare? Where's the jump scare? Where's the jump scare? Where's the jump scare?
From the pizzeria to your living room, you no longer have to wait to sing and dance with Fredbear and Friends. Weeknights at 8.
Crying Child's imaginary friend Fredbear would comfort him and talk him through the situation, saying, "You know he is hiding again. Be careful. Tomorrow is another day." Michael wasn't the only one bullying the Crying Child, though. The local kids in the neighborhood heard about why the Crying Child was so scared of the pizzeria, even making up fake rumors related to what the Crying Child thought he saw there. "You'd better watch out. I hear they come to life at night. And if you die, they hide your body and never tell anyone." But all of this bullying would come to a head on one special day, the Crying Child's birthday. Ironically, his birthday party was being held at Fredbear's family diner. Because he was so terrified of being at the pizzeria, he hid under the table, not knowing that Michael and his friends were nearby, planning a prank that would go terribly wrong.
Make sure you grab your pizza. Fredbear and Spring Bonnie will be performing in 5 minutes.
Do you guys know whose voice was that? Do you guys know whose voice we just heard? The goat himself. It was the goat himself. It's theory time. Of course, MatPat. Oh my god. I cannot believe this shit. Bro, oh, it's so good, bro. This is so good. Bro, I mean, the artists, the musicians, they're so good. The fans, they make such a good content, right? Like, they were able to create these kind of things just from like FNAF 1 to 6, like, oh my god. But these are so scary. Like, how do kids like this, right?
Michael and his friends lifted the Crying Child up to, quote, give Fredbear a big kiss, and Fredbear bit down on him, leaving his body to go limp. Michael and his friends quickly stopped laughing. Because of Michael's immature behavior, his terrified younger brother paid the ultimate price. Although the Crying Child was badly hurt, he didn't immediately die. Because of the immense brain damage, he slipped into a coma. After being treated at a hospital, the Crying Child was taken home so he could be comfortable, surrounded by his only friends, his plushies. In the Crying Child's final moments, Michael decides to apologize for what he's done, saying, "Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry." After Michael speaks, the Crying Child's imaginary friend Fredbear, created out of the trauma he experienced, continues doing what it's done the whole time. It comforts him, saying, "You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here. I will put you back together." This would be the final thing the Crying Child hears before he dies. The Crying Child's spirit would then live on in the Fredbear suit, the thing that took his life. The Crying Child's death wasn't just an accident. It was directly caused by Michael's recklessness. This is something that Michael could potentially face jail time for, so it needed to be covered up. Since the Crying Child was being kept at home, no one else knew that he ended up passing away. So William and Michael ended up burying the Crying Child's body in the middle of the woods where no one would find him. No tombstone, no flowers, just a pile of dirt, an unmarked grave, and a lifetime's worth of guilt that Michael would have to live with. Shortly after the incident, Fredbear's family diner was quickly shut down, and Fredbear was completely wiped from existence. The Fredbear and Friends TV show turned into Freddy and Friends on tour. The Fredbear and Spring Bonnie Springlock suits also ended up being moved into the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, mainly being used as spare suits if one of the Freddy's animatronics broke down. The death of William Afton's youngest son was a pivotal moment in this story, specifically William Afton's story. This was the first domino to fall. A father losing his son is a traumatic situation, and while any other father would take time to grieve, be sad, and properly deal with such a big loss, William Afton took a different route. Afton definitely was upset about his son dying, but it wasn't because he felt bad for his son, it was because it was embarrassing to him. William Afton was a narcissist. He had little to no empathy. All he cared about was work and comparing himself to his business partner, Henry. Henry had a wife, a kid, and a talent for robotics that Afton was utterly jealous of. The death of the crying child sent Afton over the edge because while Henry's family was still perfect, his was now broken. Henry and William had different ways of taking care of their kids, and while Afton employing his eldest son failed, Henry's security puppet succeeded. Henry's daughter, Charlie, lived on. Afton had a hard time dealing with this feeling of embarrassment. He started becoming an alcoholic, frequently visiting the local bar called Junior's. One night though, after drinking a little too much and getting kicked out of the bar, he decided that he was going to settle the score with Henry. Afton, drunk and filled with rage, drove from the bar to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where he knew Charlie was being watched over by Henry's security puppet. Afton planned on risking everything to kill Henry's daughter, Charlie. He didn't care if he got caught, and he didn't care if he went to prison. But when Afton got to Freddy's, he noticed that Charlie was standing outside by herself. It turned out that some bullies were able to trap the security puppet in its box and lock Charlie outside the building, giving Afton the perfect opportunity to kill Charlie outside of the pizzeria. The security puppet was eventually able to escape its box and went looking for Charlie. As Afton sped away, the puppet noticed that Charlie was outside in the pouring rain. It then did what it was programmed to do and went to protect her.
Welcome back.
But as the puppet got closer to Charlie's body, the rain started making it short circuit. It was forced to crawl its way over to her until the rain got to be too much and the puppet shut down right next to Charlie's body. While Charlie and the puppet lay lifeless next to each other, Afton was speeding home, driving right past where he buried his son and the bar he got kicked out of. When Afton got home, he was met with his wife sitting in the living room watching TV and Michael in his bedroom. Afton was a drunk and abusive father and fully blamed Michael for what happened to his youngest son. Mrs. Afton tells him to leave Michael alone because he's had a tough day, but Afton doesn't listen. He goes over to Michael's room and pounds on the door, only for the door to be locked. He then makes his way around the house to try and find a way in from the outside. But once he gets to Michael's bedroom window, he notices that it's broken and Michael was gone. Michael was so upset by what he did to his brother that he would sometimes see visions of Fredbear appear and disappear. Tonight, Fredbear appeared outside his bedroom window, and it almost felt like his brother was calling out to him from beyond the grave. This would happen frequently, and every time it did, Michael would run to the spot where they buried his younger brother, only to find that nothing had changed. His younger brother was still gone and buried in the ground. Afton knew Michael did this often, saying, "Ran off to that place again. He will be sorry when he gets back." The guilt of killing his younger brother haunted Michael in his real life, but also in his dreams. Michael would constantly have nightmares about the animatronic that took his brother's life. These were the exact same nightmares his younger brother used to have every night, now passed on to him.
Damn, okay. I mean, I know these bars, Please don't give, why is it trying to give me jump scares?
For that, William was able to get away with
And it can go anywhere.
Yes, we are.
After realizing the security puppet may be possessed by the spirit of Charlie,
How? How did he know that he was possessed by a fucking spirit? Thinking like,
Fredbear
oh my
plushie,
God.
only to find that it also seemed to be haunted. The crying child feared for his
Seems to be haunted. Bro, I got lucky. Granny ran right, and they see me next to her, so I was able to hide in a car. She saw me into the car, and then because he was the one who killed her, and he knows about the puppet, and was puppet was made for her. Yeah, but how do you sense it's being haunted? How do you sense that? Maybe they have like sixth sense or something.
Life every single day,
You know,
and that
like
plushie was
spiritual
something he
sense
was
of
able
the.
to cry
I mean, come
and
on.
pour his agony into. Afton
Possession
believed
exists,
that
you know?
this is what caused the plushie to appear haunted. It wasn't made alive by the spirit of his son, it was made alive by the agony and fear his son poured into it. Afton quickly
They're
became
good at smelling
obsessed with the
souls.
concept of haunted objects, and more specifically, the power of human emotion. He needed to find out if this is something he could take advantage of. Afton then used all of his money.
Oh my god, this guy is a dumbass. He got so lucky. He got so lucky. Like let's say that you figure out that, oh yeah, you can like, oh yeah, let's say hunting is allowed, right? How can he just say yes to that just from the first initial thing? First of all, you need to do multiple experiments to make sure if what you are seeing or if what you're experiencing is the actual truth, you know? There are errors. There are errors. Control. Oh my god.
Money he made from Fredbear's and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to build a giant underground facility directly under his house. It was here that he would try to recreate what happened with his son, to recreate the fear and agony he experienced. In order to do this, Afton didn't take any chances. He needed to replicate exactly what his son went through every day. In order to do this, Afton built a replica of his house underground, along with his son's daily walk to
Soul-smelling
Fredbear's
blue.
family diner. He also built a makeshift bedroom where he could force kids to have the same nightmare every night. Afton would sit in his office watching them on the cameras that could be accessed using the passcode 1983, the year his son got bit. He also kept the crying child's Fredbear plushie on the desk as a reminder of what he was trying to replicate. In the makeshift bedroom, there were dummy animatronics that wheeled down the hallway. But the kids wouldn't see them as just blank dummies on wheels. Afton would pump hallucinogenic gas into the room to get the kids to think that what they were seeing was a monster. These nightmare gas canisters were being stored all throughout his underground facility, and on the bed of this makeshift bedroom was a Freddy plushie, in the hopes that the kids would pour their fear and agony into the plush, like his son did to his plushie. On the other side of the bunker where Afton recreated the crying child's walk to Fredbear's, he placed a bunch of Fredbear plushies all over the place. These Fredbear plushies had walkie-talkies inside of them. This was Afton's way of recreating his son's imaginary friend that would talk to him wherever he went. Afton would speak to the kids through his walkie-talkie.
Okay, so the father is such a ass. Oh my god, this guy should have died. So the father knew that the kid was having mental problems, right? And had an imaginary friend and was consulting his imaginary friends. So the dad knew what was happening. But what did the dad do? Nothing. The dad didn't do nothing. The dad knew that the kid was in agony. The dad knew the kid was scared. The dad knew that she being bullied. The dad knew, yeah, but he was this kind of a monster. The dad knew that he had an imaginary friend. Oh my god, and he's recreating it for other kids too. Oh my god, this is some bullshit.
Sitting in his private office. After setting up the bunker, Afton was only
I never
missing
said
one
that he
more
was
thing.
good, but him being this evil, bro, this guy makes like Epstein look good. This guy is making Epstein look good. Like actually, like what the fuck?
The kids to run these experiments on. He needed a way to kidnap and capture kids without being caught, and he had the perfect way to do it.
It's just the begging? What do you mean the begging?
The show will begin momentarily. Everyone, please stay in your seats.
Enter Circus Baby and the Funtime animatronics. These robots were specifically built by Afton to capture kids, featuring Circus Baby, Funtime
it's just the
Freddy,
beginning.
Funtime
Okay.
Foxy, and Ballora. They feature advanced technologies such as parental tracking, voice mimicking / luring, and storage tanks. Circus Baby, the star of the group, was even able to make ice cream as a way to lure kids to her. Once the kid got too close, a giant claw would reach out, grab them, and lock them in the animatronics storage tank. Some of of the board members from Fazbear Entertainment were suspicious of these new animatronics.
She can dance. She can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflation.
And then this guy was able to create much better version of the animatronics. It wasn't even William, not William, sorry. The other guy, the fucking genius that created the mimic. Both if they were smart, both if they were able to create such a high-end computer CPUs, so high-end AIs, and both of them got by their own creation. Oh, the irony. The irony.
She can take song requests. She can even dispense ice cream.
Edwin,
With
yes,
all
Edwin.
due respect, those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton.
Afton even created a new restaurant for these animatronics called Circus Baby's Pizza World. Elizabeth, William Afton's daughter, was fascinated.
And then they're so rich, bro. Oh my god, the funding they have. I mean, obviously Freddy Fazbear was so popular, so they probably had a lot of investments and assets. So obviously they can create multiple chains. That's understandable. But they create such a, oh my god. Like this is like an upgraded version, right? Because you can safely hide a child there.
By Circus Baby. All she wanted to do was play with her, but Afton wouldn't let her.
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? You let the other children go see her. Why won't you let me go?
He strictly told her to stay away from the animatronic, but one day, she didn't listen. On the opening day of Circus Baby's Pizza World, another domino would fall in Afton's life, and Elizabeth would soon be the victim of his terrible misdeeds.
I can do something special.
Wait, and Afton was so stupid that he doesn't check who the kids were. He was just like kidnapping kid I don't know if it was every day or occasionally, and then he brought him there and then just threw him in the fucking maze, right, in the nightmare fuel.
Did you
Like
know
he
that?
didn't check who it was. Oh my god.
I can make ice cream, although I only did it once. What a wonderful day, though. I was in a small room with balloons and a few tables. I would always count the children. I'm not sure why. They usually played together in groups of 2 or 3. There were 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Time to play.
B.
Ice cream.
It said B, it didn't say the boo. Like she doesn't kill the
Something
kids.
happened when there was one. I was no longer myself. There
Wait.
was screaming for a moment, but only for a moment.
Whoa, did she
In
die?
an instant, Elizabeth was grabbed by Circus Baby and thrown into her stomach hatch. The sheer force of her being grabbed and thrown into the robot's storage tank was enough to kill her almost instantly. This is something that
Whoa.
William wasn't able to test. That was until his daughter became the test. William Afton now lost another one of his kids. But
Whoa,
this time,
okay,
it
so
was
that's how
all
she died.
his
Okay,
fault.
never mind,
After
never
just
mind.
one day of being open, Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down. Afton covered
Oh
up
my
the
God.
incident by telling the public that the restaurant shut down due to gas leaks. But not everyone bought that story. The local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying, in other news, the grand opening of Circus Baby's Pizza World has apparently been canceled due to reported gas leaks in the building. Sources close to the establishment questioned the report, saying that strange activity around the area at night suggests something else is to blame. One local is quoted as saying, everything just stopped. There was so much excitement built around this place opening, and then they just stopped talking about it. A tenant from across the street claims to have witnessed a large group of cars surrounding the building during the night, and large pieces of equipment being taken out of the building under tarps. A few weeks later, the building was for sale. There is no comment yet from the local entrepreneur who financed the venture.
Bro, does
That
these
local
robots have
entrepreneur,
spirit in
William
them, or
Afton,
do they have
successfully
someone
covered up
inside
everything.
controlling
He
them?
was able to bring Circus Baby
there's
and the
only
Funtime
one that's
animatronics
controlling them.
back down
That was
into his
like,
bunker. But once he
William.
got them there, he noticed
But
something
after
was
that,
different about
it's just a
Circus
soul.
Baby. One
Everything is a
distinct
soul.
feature about Circus
Except the
Baby
mimic.
was
The
her
mimic is
blue
AI.
eyes. But what once was blue eyes now
Like a high-end
were
AI.
green, the same color as
Actually,
Elizabeth's.
most of them, well, the one that was made by Edwin are mostly AI. I'm not sure if there's also souls too. There could be. But the ones that Edwin's made are mostly in the Mimic are AI, like high-end
In that
AIs.
moment, he knew that his daughter's soul attached itself to the robot. Her soul lived on in Circus Baby. Afton knew that the way Charlie went on to possess the puppet was sloppy, and it was hard to recreate without getting caught. But what if the kids' bodies were hidden where no one would ever look? What if, just like his daughter, their bodies were stuffed into the animatronics?
Not all of them. If I remember correctly, the one in the jukebox in the Mimics, I think that one was proper AI. Yeah, not all, mostly, yeah.
Afton, Elizabeth's death quickly went from just another
Like
inconvenience to a
the AI that Edwin created was so advanced that they had their own consciousness. Oh, consciousness is a bit of a stretch, but you get it.
Scientific breakthrough. Afton was one step closer to harnessing the power of life itself. But one successful experiment wasn't enough. Just like the fear experiments he built in the bunker, he needed to replicate exactly what happened. He needed to recreate the accident, and he knew exactly how he was going to do it. Using the Funtime animatronics again wasn't an option. Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down, and the public was already getting too suspicious of the animatronics. But he didn't need the Funtime animatronics. He was going to run the experiment himself. On June 26, 1985, William Afton made his way to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. There, he would put on the old Spring Bonnie suit from Fredbear's to lure 5 kids into the back room.
Took a swim with my new friend. Didn't care, I jumped right.
Hello. Looking for a friend?
He said, the water's clear, come swim with me.
Walking with a knife in public is crazy. I know, bro. The Golden
One
Freddy.
by one, Afton killed them and stuffed their bodies into the animatronics. Susie was first, being stuffed into Chica. Gabriel went into Freddy, Jeremy into Bonnie, Fritz into Foxy, and then there was Cassidy, who went into Fredbear, aka Golden Freddy. At this point, Afton had no idea that the crying child spirit was in Golden Freddy, so he didn't think twice about shoving Cassidy in there. The way Afton killed Cassidy, though, was different from the rest. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were just regular animatronics. Afton had no choice but to kill them, then stuff them into the suits. But Golden Freddy wasn't just a regular animatronic, it was a Springlock suit.
Yeah.
The same Springlock suit that took his youngest son's life. Afton was aware of how dangerous the Springlocks were. Any bit of moisture or too much movement would cause them to snap shut, slowly killing whoever was inside. So that's exactly what he did to Cassidy. He put him into the suit and watched as the Springlocks snapped shut, cementing Cassidy's death as the most brutal of them all. Freddy, Bonnie.
Wait, so he put Cassidy, a little kid, inside a spring lock alive. So he didn't kill her first and then hit her there. She just put her there alive. Oh my god.
Bonnie, Chica,
Oh my
Foxy,
God.
and Golden Freddy weren't the only animatronics sitting in the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, though. They were joined by the security puppet, which contained the soul of Henry's daughter, Charlie. Once Afton was gone, Charlie jumped into action, almost acting as a guide for their souls, properly giving them life inside of each animatronic. After the incident, the kids were quickly reported missing by their families, and although the security cameras caught Afton luring the kids away, he wasn't able to fully get in trouble. Since he was wearing the Spring Bonnie suit, they were never able to prove it was actually him. Afton also hid the kids' bodies where no one would ever look, so the bodies were never found. Unbelievably, Afton was able to get away with yet another crime. Because of all the bad press that came from the missing children's incident, people stopped coming to the pizzeria. After months of
Bro, Freddy Fazbear has such a bad reputation. Like at this point, it should, like, but still, Like they open a new pizzeria almost every game. Like what? Like why do people still go there? Right? By the way, right. By the way, knowing Cassidy is a boy, why half the fandom draws Cassidy as a girl. Wait, Cassidy is a dude? Oh, Cassidy is no. I think the reason they draw as a name is because like for me, if you told me like if you didn't tell me that Cassidy was a boy, I would assume it is a girl because of the name. It's just a name. That's why.
Of customers no longer showing up, Fazbear Entertainment officially shut down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Shortly after the pizzeria shut down, Afton decided to pull the Funtime animatronics out of retirement and finally get his underground facility fully operational. He knew he couldn't try opening another Circus Babies restaurant, so he had a new idea.
Due to the massive success and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was
we have a face
no
of
pun
Cassidy
intended, for another contender in children's entertainment. Unlike
yeah, but I mean,
most
some kids, it could have a boy face even though it's a girl. But
it
doesn't matter.
Our robotic entertainers are rented out for private parties during the day.
Afton opened Circus Babies Entertainment and Rental. This way, he could rent out the Funtime animatronics to local birthday parties, capture kids, and bring them back to his underground bunker to be experimented on. While Afton was running his rental business, Fazbear Entertainment was determined to try opening another pizzeria. In the summer of 1987, Fazbear Entertainment opened the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, this time with brand new versions of the...
And then where the fuck was Edwin? Like, couldn't have Edwin told the cops that, yeah, this guy is killing them? Oh my god.
Original characters. These were called the toy animatronics, and they were once again built by Henry. Henry was aware of what happened in 1985, and especially of what happened to his daughter, so he was determined to make sure that never happened again. These new toy animatronics were equipped with facial recognition systems that were linked directly to a criminal database.
If I know right, Edwin is dead. No, he's actually alive. He literally made this animatronics as well.
The security puppet was also brought out of retirement, but instead of working security, it sat quietly in the prize corner. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy, and Spring Bonnie were also moved to the new pizzeria, and it's revealed that these animatronics were mostly used for spare parts.
By now, I'm sure you've noticed the older model sitting in the back room. Those are from the previous location, and we just use them for parts now. The idea at first was to repair them, but they were just so ugly, you know?
And you know what's the worst part? You know how they brought this into the new pizzeria and then they're using it as a parts? Here's the thing. There used to be kids inside them, right? Because William hid it there, right? So at some point, William had to go open the animatronics again and clean the animatronics, like take the kids out of the animatronics. Oh my god, disgusting.
This means that the haunted metal of the original Freddy's animatronics was now being put into the toy animatronics, causing the toys to also now be possessed. After Afton got away with the first set of murders, he needed to...
I see now. So like the souls just swap. No wonder like they look so different in every game. Now I get it.
See if the kids' spirits were possessing the animatronics. In order to see for himself, Afton went back to work at the new pizzeria as a daytime security guard. While Afton was working the day shift, Jeremy Fitzgerald was working the night shift. Jeremy worked there for 5 nights, and unfortunately for him, because the kids possessing the animatronics were killed by an adult, they were extremely aggressive to any adult they encountered.
They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
Meanwhile, Afton decided to pull the same trick he did at the old Freddy's location, gaining 5 more victims.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it.
Afton used the Spring Bonnie suit to pull the same stunt again on 5 more kids. But as he was committing the murders, Charlie...
Shouldn't it be obvious at this point? Oh my god, the police are so ass.
From inside the puppet was actively trying to save the kids. She tried enlisting the help of the other animatronics, but it was too late. Afton had already finished what he started. Not only that, him seeing the puppet and Freddy walking around the pizzeria trying to stop him was all the proof he needed that his experiments were successful.
Like, I mean, William isn't doing anything to hide. And it's so lie that, oh yeah, no one would look inside the animatronics. That's such a lie. Bro, if multiple kids, right, 5 kids die in same place, right, just pure luck. I know, bro, this guy is so lucky. Bro, if 5 kids goes missing in one area, you have video evidence of someone using the animatronics wearing the costume to do these atrocities, right? There was CCTV camera, by the way, but they didn't know who was behind the mask, right? Then there's a higher likely chance that it was either one of the staff, the owner, or basically the owners, right? Staff or the owners. Obviously, there's a chance that there's an outsider too, but the main suspects will be these, right? So you have to check all the animatronics, right? There is smell, there is blood, right? They ask for every information. They ask about the blueprints or where could they have been hiding. How did they get in? Who at that time of the missing? Which adult? How many adults were inside the restaurants? How many adults left? Right? Like, oh my god! Like, what? Did they not double check everything?
Successful. The kids he put into the original suits were haunting the animatronics. But there was one problem. Afton knew that the haunted metal of the endoskeletons was the key to everything. But the animatronics were trapped at the pizzeria. There was no way he could bring them back to his underground bunker. He couldn't get to the animatronics if the pizzeria was still open and active. So he needed to find a way to make sure the pizzeria shuts down and fast. Instead of stuffing the new set of victims into the toy animatronics, he decided to leave the kids out in plain sight, scattered throughout the pizzeria. This was a guaranteed way to get the pizzeria shut down. A few hours after Afton committed the murders, Jeremy Fitzgerald showed up for his night shift, unaware of what happened that day.
Hello? What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay?
The next day, during Jeremy's day shift, one of the animatronics bit him in the head. This was infamously known as the bite of...
See? Like, this is the one I was talking about. Like, bit him in the head. Oh my... Like, the kids are a bit... So the soul doesn't have the full access, right? So I get it. So the soul doesn't have a full access. It's just that, like, the grudge. It's more of the grudge, right? It isn't the soul possessing it. It's more of the, like, the remnant of the grudge.
87. Meanwhile, Afton
now I know why it's called the remnant. Okay,
down.
now I know why it's called the
remnant. The
remnant.
local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying
Bite
after
of
being
87.
open only a few short weeks...
Wait, isn't the Bite of 87 a song? The Bite of 87. I thought that was a song, right? It is Five Nights at Freddy's. Surprising. I thought it was like a song or something. I've heard
Freddy
the Bite of
Fazbear's
87 before, but maybe it was something else. That actually rhymes really good. So 1987, I'm assuming.
The new animatronics will be scrapped due to possible malfunctions. However, the original characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of the company. Since the toy animatronics were now being scrapped, he knew he could get away with taking their endoskeletons. But he also knew that he couldn't risk showing his face at the pizzeria again, so he got his oldest son, Michael, to do the work for him. William was easily able to get Michael to do whatever he wanted. William was abusive and manipulative, while Michael was haunted by the guilt of what he did to his younger brother. Because of this, Michael basically acted as William's puppet. Michael showed up for the night shift at the now closed Freddy Fazbear's Pizza under a code name, Fritz Smith. At the end of his shift, he would successfully steal the toy animatronics endoskeletons for his father, causing him to get fired his first day on the job due to tampering with the animatronics. As it said in the local newspaper, while Fazbear Entertainment scrapped the toy animatronics, the original Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were going to be fixed up and reused. And that's exactly what they did. After the 1987 Freddy's location shut down, they opened yet another location.
Oh my god. So these guys have been opening a Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria almost every year, and it has failed almost every year, and for some reason they still get a huge amount of popularity. Oh my god, how? What's the average IQ, bro? Like an iPhone, I know, like at least iPhone is good, right? Yeah, it's repetitive, but at least it's good. It doesn't fucking kill children every fucking year, right? Oh my god.
This time using
What's
the
the average
exact
IQ in this
same
world?
building as the
Like, I guess the only two smartest people are evil, and then everyone is dumb as fucking bricks.
first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As you can imagine, this didn't work out great for the business. People already had a bad impression of Fazbear Entertainment, so using the same building that the original murders took place in didn't help business. Customers barely showed up to the new pizzeria, leading it to shut down by the end of 1993.
Oh,
Although
no
this was
surprise.
bad news
Oh.
for Fazbear Entertainment, this was great news for William Afton. Afton was able to acquire the endos of the toy animatronics, but that wasn't enough. He needed all of the haunted endoskeletons, especially the ones in the original animatronics. Once the pizzeria shut down, Afton came up with a plan to steal the endos from the animatronics. Each pizzeria was designed with something called a safe room.
As always, if there is ever an emergency, please go to the designated safe room. Every location is built with one extra room that is not included in the digital map layouts programmed into the animatronics or security system. This room is hidden to customers, invisible to animatronics, and is always off camera.
This room was hidden from guests and invisible to the animatronics. Afton would use this to his advantage, luring each of the animatronics to the safe room and dismantling them one by one. The kids possessing these animatronics were the same kids he lured into the back room all those years ago. He planned to use the same trick to lure the same kids all over again.
Why are their teeth glowing? Yeah.
Once he finished dismantling each
How was he able to dismantle like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them so easily? How was he able to dismantle them, dismantle 4 of them so easily? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Oh my god.
animatronic and stealing their endoskeleton, he brought them down
Because
to
just a
his
single one can overpower multiple men, right?
underground bunker, where he would melt them all down into one liquid substance called
Axe and
remnant.
skill.
Not only did Afton
Axe and like there were 4 of them. There were 4 of them, and that quickly? Oh my god! Like, oh my god.
rob these kids of their lives, he would use their souls long
Bro,
after the
like, what is William missing, bro? He's fucking smart. He's strong. He's fast. He's good at fighting. He's a serial killer. Like, oh my god. Yo, Jester Pino, welcome to stream. William works out. I guess. Welcome to stream, by the way. I guess, like, oh my god.
they're gone for his own personal gain.
fast. Yeah, the only thing he's missing is like all his stats are like maxed besides human emotion, like besides humanity, right? They make his balls still. William knows the weak points. Yeah, but still, like, if he was in his like the rabbit costume, I would have understand because of the fear factor. You know, the kids are still they're scared of the costume. They're not scared of the human, right? Because they don't know who killed them. It's 4 a.m. You're gonna go? Okay, no problem, no problem. See you later. Thank you, Bucky. See you later. Because he didn't dismantle them, I mean, in this animation at least. It looks like he was just powered off, right? Why did she see cinematic? It's a fan made, I think, if I remember correctly. It's a fan made. That's why it's cinematic. The knife. Whoa! It's melting it. He turned him off and take off the skin. Yep. If it's that easy to immobilize 4 of them. Oh my god. If it's really that easy, then surviving in FNAF universe is so easy. At least for Five Nights, like if you have the knowledge prior, I mean. You just turn them all off, you know.
By melting down the endos, he successfully created Remnant. This substance, containing the spirits of all of the missing children, was silver in color, and if kept at the right temperature, was malleable. Afton didn't want to risk testing the Remnant on himself, so he injected it into the Funtime animatronics. Once he did, the animatronics jumped to life. The experiment had worked. William Afton unlocked the power of...
Also, William did build animatronics, so he probably knows how to dismantle them. I mean, yeah, I understand that part. Yeah, but that quickly is, I mean, like, yeah, but there's 4 of them, like there were multiple of them, at least 2 of them. There was Freddy, there was the bunny, and then there was Foxy, right? Like that quickly. Like, are you saying that those 3 couldn't have jumped him? If he did it one by one, I could have understand, but it showed us that he did it together, like all of them were there, like. But it could be just an animation thing. The animation thing could have like misled it. Like he could have actually done it one by one, which is understandable. So it could be the animator's fault in this situation, not the they did it one by one. Ah, okay, so it is the animation's fault because if you look here, like here, see, like the animation, see, like there is Foxy, right? There is the blue guy. Like they're all together. Like yeah, they like the first couple are like dismantled. But then the fox is here, right?
Once he finished,
and he literally followed, like Foxy was literally following the blue one. I was saying like he wasn't there; they weren't that far. I was saying like in the 2 seconds he was able to dismantle them, like 2 seconds. That's what I meant.
Animatronics jumped to life. The experiment.
Still live, bro. You said 40 minutes. Yeah, but I was going to, like, people said change the video, so I'm watching this video and I'm going to end after this video.
Had worked.
In game, it showed one by one. Yeah, so it is an animator's fault then. Why are there so many cannibal stuff in your cannibal? I don't know. There's only, I don't know. It's because of my viewers, bro. It was animation error. Yeah, I noticed.
William Afton unlocked the power of.
I mean, usually the animation is like kinda accurate, so I assumed it was similar, but I
life
guess
itself.
it wasn't.
After his successful experiment, he went back to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to collect his old Spring Bonnie suit. But once he got there, he was met with the spirits of the 5 missing children, trapping him inside the safe room. Cassidy, the spirit inside Golden Freddy, chased Afton around the room and forced him to get into the Spring Bonnie suit. Cassidy was the most vengeful spirit of them all. Being spring-locked in the Fredbear suit was a painful and slow death, and he wanted to make sure that Afton knew what that felt like. At this point, Afton knew how a spirit could live on. As long as he was inside the suit, he knew he'd be back.
Yeah, it was a face.
As Afton laughed, the spring locks snapped shut, forcing him to go through what Cassidy went through. This was an act of revenge by Cassidy, and it wouldn't be the last. Afton was now confined to the safe room of the now shut down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and because of this, everything in his underground bunker was left abandoned. But even with Afton gone, the rental business continued on its own. All of the Funtime animatronics containing the spirits of the missing children and even his daughter Elizabeth were still being rented out during the day and then brought right back down to the bunker. All the spirits wanted to do was escape, but they were...
Yeah, but doesn't they kidnap kids every time, or at least sometimes when they're being rented out? So what happens to the kids that are inside these guys, you know?
Were always put back underground. After Afton went missing, his eldest son Michael, who's been blindly helping his father, remembered what his father told him if he ever went missing. If William wasn't there to finish his work, Michael would do it for him. Afton's underground facility was always off.
And the remnant, what exactly is the remnant? So it's not the souls, because the souls left and then trapped William into the animatronics. We saw that. So the remnant is the will, right? The will of the souls. So the will of the souls coated is a trauma. Okay. So when he melted the animatronics, right, to get the metal. Also, could we watch something about backrooms after this? Sure, if it's short enough. So what you're saying that it's the trauma, or it's the will that basically like hockey that possesses the items, and then he melted it. So, and then when he injected it to the animatronics, the will, but shouldn't that like cause confusion because there are multiple wills? But I guess it will still be the same, like, you know, the revenge, the pain, the scaredness. So they could have like mixed together, for example. But how does that make the other animatronics alive? Shouldn't they also be more, how should I say this, more aggressive as well, right?
Off limits to Michael,
Let's
but
see,
since
let's
he
see,
was
let's
now
see.
gone, Michael had no choice. He took the elevator down to where his father worked every day. Although Michael was helping out his father by stealing some of the endos from the animatronics back in the day, he never exactly knew what William was doing until he got down into the bunker.
And this is 5, right? It is 5, like the game wise. This is 5 or 6, right? It's not 6 or 6. 6 is into the pit. This is 5, right? This is 5. Yeah, it's 5. Like what's it? FNAF.
Yo, Cammy, wanna hear a joke?
Yeah, sure. Give me a joke. Give me a joke. What is it, Amy Blossom? Tell me the joke. Sister location. Yeah, FNAF sister location. Yeah, I remember now.
Why couldn't the cycle stand straight?
Why couldn't the cycle stand straight? Why? Why, Amy Blossom?
Cause it was too tired, get it too tired.
Now, here's the thing. Amy Blossom, you wrote it wrong. If you had said, why did the bicycle stand straight, then I would have known the joke. But you said cycle. So when you said the cycle, I thought about something that is round, that goes into a circle, like a loop. But I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Good joke. Good joke.
Over the several days he visited the bunker, he learned more about what his father was up to. He learned about the massive facility his father built, complete with multiple rooms conducting fear experiments. He learned the truth behind the Funtime animatronics and how they were actually designed to kidnap kids. And he learned through the voice of Baby exactly how his sister died.
A little girl, standing by herself. My stomach opened, and there was ice cream. I couldn't move, at least, not until she stepped closer.
But as the week went on, Baby was conducting a plan of her own, a plan to escape the bunker using Michael's body. Elizabeth was no longer the person Michael remembered her as. She was entirely devoted to her father and would do anything to make him proud of her. At the end of the week, all of the Funtime animatronics endos were scooped out, with all of them combining into one animatronic called Ennard. This creature, containing the spirits of the missing kids and Elizabeth, knew they wouldn't be able to escape the bunker looking like an animatronic. They needed a human body to walk around in.
Oh my god.
You are in the scooping room now. Funtime Foxy has already been here today. Funtime Freddy has already been here today.
How do you know?
Has already been here
I've heard it before.
Circus Baby has already been here today. I've been out before, but they always put me back. They always put us back inside. There's nowhere for us to hide here. There is nowhere to go when we look like this. But if we looked like you, then we could hide. If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go. The scooper only hurts for a moment.
Michael Afton's insides got scooped out and replaced by Ennard, helping all of the souls to escape the facility. With every passing day after this happened, Michael looked more and more like a walking zombie. His skin was starting to turn purple, and...
Why did he say Funtime? Wouldn't it even make sense for them to call them Freddy, etc.? Because Funtime is how they're referred in-game. No, I think the Funtime is a different version. The Funtime is the white one, if I remember correctly. Accurate animation, yep. This one was accurate. The previous one wasn't. The previous one, like, it made it look like William was able to dismantle them like in 5 seconds.
Started to notice Michael's body was no longer a good disguise for Ennard, so Ennard ejected itself from Michael. But because the scooper was also a remnant injector, when Michael Afton was scooped, he was also injected with remnant. The remnant made it so even after Ennard was gone, he was still able to survive. With Michael now back.
And then I have another question. So he got hit by remnant, right? So whose will does he have?
What do you call a fake spaghetti?
Sister location. Yeah, Funtime works. What do you call a fake spaghetti? What do you call? Another question. So he got hit by the remnant, right? So whose will did he have?
Imposter.
Imposter. Ah, okay. So whose will does this guy have now? No one's. Not even himself, right? How?
Back in full control of his body, he had a new mission. Although he did, one way or another, successfully free his sister from the underground facility, he also learned about all of his father's terrible misdeeds.
No, so he still has his own will. He has his own will.
Disgust. It was time for him to end.
Surprising
all of
though.
This.
Father, it's me, Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
His name is Michael. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then...
But why does he have such a beautiful voice? Oh my god. He sounds so sexy, bro. He sounds so sexy. Oh my god. Ooh, okay. And I found her.
Put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now.
Why don't skeletons fight each other?
Why?
I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in shadows.
Cause they don't have guts.
There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
Michael would spend years searching for his father with no luck, until a new ad in the local newspaper caught his attention. Someone decided to open something called Fazbear's Fright, the horror
Okay,
attraction.
that's it
Local
for the
amusement
joke
park
today.
is getting ready to scare your socks off
No
with the
problem,
new
no
attraction
problem. Thank you
based
for the
on the
jokes, bro.
unsolved mysteries of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Featuring actual relics from the decades-old pizzeria, this new attraction is guaranteed to bring back your childhood in the worst possible way. As if using the crimes of his father to make a profit wasn't bad enough, they also went back to the old pizzerias and collected any objects they could find to put on display at the attraction. Michael immediately applied for the job of the security guard with the sole intention of burning the place to the ground. When he got there, he saw the remnants of his past, the shells of all of the animatronics, missing every single one of their endoskeletons. He knew they could only find the shells of the animatronics because he and his father stole their endoskeletons all those years ago, leaving only the shells behind. On day 2 of working at the attraction, he got word that they found a real animatronic.
You're not gonna believe this. We found one. A real one.
This real animatronic ended up being his father, still inside the...
Okay, so the guys that found the animatronics, right? Couldn't they have the smell, the blood, the human inside him? Like, you can literally see it, right? Like, how dumb were they?
Spring bomb.
He just got hit by an ad. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jester. Like think about it. You know how bad a flesh smells when it rots? Welcome back. It smells so bad. And how did they not figure it out? How did they not figure it out?
Bonnie suit he died in decades ago. Even though his father was now in the building with him, he still decided to go through on his plan, all in an effort to end his father once and for all. Michael then rigged the wiring in the building to catch fire, burning the horror attraction to the ground with his father inside. The local newspaper would write about the fire, saying a new local attraction based on an ancient pizzeria chain burned down overnight. Authorities have not ruled out foul play, but at the moment it seems to have been caused by faulty wiring. Although the fire destroyed most of everything in the building, William, miraculously, was able to survive. William was now free, roaming the outside world along with the souls of the missing children, Elizabeth, and Charlie inside the puppet. Since Michael wasn't able to end everything, someone else needed to step in. That someone was Henry Emily, Afton's
he's
old
still alive,
partner and
right?
father of Charlie.
This guy
heard
was
about
still
the
alive
fire
and he
at
didn't do
Fazbear's
shit.
Fright, along with the rumors
Oh
of the
my
various animatronic creatures now roaming the streets. Henry was determined to put an end to all of this.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create. As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way.
He says it now. He says it after he killed his daughter. He knew, by the way. After he killed like 20 kids. He knew, by the way. After killing his daughter, 20 kids. He probably killed multiple adults too. Torturing his son's daughter, wife probably as well. Failing multiple franchises. After all this, after almost 20 years or 5 years, something like that, he says it now. He says it now. No, there's 20 kids. No, there's 20 kids. The 5 initial kids that he put inside the animatronics, right? And then the 5 kids from the fun time, right? With his daughter, remember? And then the other kids that he sends out for rental to kidnap kids. Like, he has killed more than 5 kids. The 5 kids is from like yeah, I meant that. Like, he killed multiple kids, like 20 kids. And here's the thing.
Is this a real story?
Is this a real story? Yeah, it's a, not the real story. If you're talking about real life, but in this real game lore, yeah. Like, how after all that, after almost a decade, he's like, oh yeah, he's a monster. He killed their fucking daughter. He knew that he killed his daughter. He didn't do shit. Oh my god. If someone killed my daughter, the last thing I would do is just go hide, like do nothing, bro. If it were based on real story. I know, bro. If it was, I hope not. Do you know about
You're
Nose? No, I
explaining
do
it
not.
like it's real.
Bro, I am. No, I don't know who Nose is. Who is
To
Nose?
humiliate, to destroy, as if the suffering wasn't
You would
enough.
have
The
the
loss of
sharing
innocence,
down.
the loss of everything to so
True,
many
true.
people. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to...
He even knew that the soul was possessed. Oh my god. Oh my god. This guy is so dumb. Edwin is so fucking dumb. How can someone be so smart and so dumb at the same time? No, see by Citra. How? How? Oh my god. Oh, this one. Oh yeah, I've seen this one. I've seen this one. Yeah, but here's the thing: these animatronics are realistic, right? I wouldn't have mind if they built this kind of animatronics. Well, not the scary ones, just an exoskeleton. But these animatronics has a high-end processing, right? They're high-end AI. Like they have almost efficient electric conductors. They basically generate no heat, right? They're so efficient. It's Henry, not Edwin. Yeah, sorry. Henry, yes, Henry. Like, oh my god, like, after all that.
New purpose.
Like,
Streamer hasn't watched a nosy vid.
I've seen like a couple. Like, no, well, not the exact video. It was just like a other content creators talking about it. I don't think Edwin alive. Edwin is alive now. Edwin is alive now. He's going to do something.
I never thought imaginable. He lured them all.
He was alive. See, listen.
Back to a familiar
This is Edwin,
place. Back with familiar.
Back to familiar
Nosy
place.
has echolocation.
Back to familiar place. Can you back to? So Edwin knew about Funtime. Edwin obviously knew about the initial. He was alive for the Funtime situation. That he was alive till here because he's literally talking about it right now. He was alive till here. Oh my god.
Tricks. He brought them all together.
Listen.
Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep. But not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound. Heal this wound after fucking 10 years? After he killed over 20 kids or something? Oh my god. After he killed your daughter? Or he leaves, he's very, very old. No, he's not that old. It hasn't been that long. First inflicted on me.
Or maybe.
But then one that I let bleed out.
Has it been that long? It hasn't been that long, right?
To cause all of this. He set
Gang
some
better
kind
calm
of trap.
down. You might end on a Netflix documentary
but
where you explain Freddy Pizzeria situation.
Bro, I will be, bro. He was an adult in 1978. Yeah, but he was probably like around 30, right? Or 25 or something like that. I mean, in 1970, people married at a very young age. And he had a really kid, so he might have been in his 20s, right? 25, let's say 25. And this be like 10 years, so he's like 30 or maybe even 40. So he's hella healthy. He's hella healthy. Like he's
He led
fine.
them there again. He overpowered them again.
It's been after 30 years? I don't think so. Not yet, at least. Not yet.
And he robbed them of the only thing that they had. Again. I don't know.
Because here's the thing. Like, I think the duration between, for example, he went missing. Like, let's say that William, right? Let's say William gets trapped and dies, right? Yeah, but I don't think it's 30 years. Okay, let's talk about it. Like, let's say that William gets trapped, right, in the room, right? And then his son, Michael, notices it. And he goes to the underground. And then he gets possessed, right? He gets possessed. No. First of all, let's talk about that. He gets possessed, right? And then the animatronics controls him and goes outside. So are you saying that it took William's flesh and body almost 30 years, right? Almost 30 years to rot for the animatronics to leave him? So the animatronics was inside William for 30 years. For almost 30 years. And they almost didn't. The room was sealed. Yeah, but no, yeah, but William's room was sealed. Michael wasn't. Michael saw it slows down the rotting. No, 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 no. I'm not talking about the. I'm not talking about the William. I'm talking about Michael. He got like basically like shortly after he noticed his father like going missing, right? Shortly after he noticed his father going missing, didn't the animatronics possess him or raise him as a fucking code, right? And then are you saying that it took 30 years, right, for the William body to rot outside while being controlled? Yeah, he was rotting 24/7. So the animatronics left him, and then he got his body back, and he was searching for his father for 30 years. He was in that state for 30 years. No way, no way. He would have died of rotting. He would have died of rotting because his body was still flesh. It wasn't animatronics. His body was, and it wasn't animatronics. If it was animatronics, it would have been understandable, but it wasn't. It's because of that remnant. Yeah, but the remnant doesn't cause them to. Yeah, but they still rot. They still rot. Like because like I mean, Michael or William had a remnant, but his human body rot, right? That's why he's basically right now like that's why after 30 years there is no smell or there is no evidence. For example, search up the spring trap was in the same room for 30 years. Let me check. I mean, yeah, but I mean, story wise or the game wise, it doesn't feel that long, right? How long was Spring Trap? Listen, for 30 years. Actually, the original lore discussion point of the building could have been sealed, abandoned, for much shorter, unspecified period of time of the event FNAF took place. So, oh, the 30-year misconception. See, I was right. Okay, let's read this. The opening description for FNAF states that 30 years have passed since Pizzeria closed, which leads to a widespread community belief that he was trapped for that entire duration. Ah, see? It was a miscommunication. It's not AI, it's Reddit. Here, I click Reddit. Here, how long did William stay? I just realized that I have no idea how we got 30 numbers. See? The 30 year after Freddy Fazbear closed the store, the event took place and there have become nothing more. In the FNAF description on the stream, must consider that a 30 years since the closure. So the FNAF 3 takes place in, yeah, see, instead of 2023. That could have worked well. Second half FNAF movie. Let's see. See, not 30 years. See, this guy has said it, not 30 years. The 30-year elapse is time between the closure of FNAF, the last one, and Freddy Fazbear. When they say 30 years, they mean from the start till the end. Based on how the location and mini games is estimated, the room was about 10 years after the closure, meaning that he has been in the room roughly 20 years. He wasn't there 30 years. It has been like very short. Scott Crafton, the game creator, said Springtrap was 30 years. I don't think even he knew because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay, was Michael looking for his father? Wait, father at a rotting state for decades. That's 30 years. 30 years question mark. Michael was looking for his father to confront him, stop him, and undo his evil. Following his famous monologue, "Sister Location, I'm going to find you," which says his mission. When you mention this rotting state for 30 years, it bridges two major storylines. Michael's literal rotting body after the event of Sister Location and his father William after sitting trapped in the spring inside the safe room. Why Michael was searching for his father. Yep, seeking revenge to finish his father's side, Michael spent years tracking down Fazbear location to free any trapped spirits in it, that his father left behind. His mission eventually led him to Freddy Fazbear simulation location, where he and Henry Emily trapped William. and burn the remaining animatronics to the ground, finally ending the cycle. So, or maybe the lore was changed again. Maybe. No, because okay, because like there's a loophole, not a loophole. Sorry, what is it when there is something missing? Like there's a hole in the air, like hole. Like how long did it take for Michael? So Michael was green for 30 years, was rotting. There was a smell, by the way, guys. There was a smell because there was a lorting that he was giving this bad odor. It's called plot hole. Yeah, yes, thank you, plot hole. Actually, yes, thank you, senpai. So that's a big plot hole. That's a big plot hole if he was actually stuck there for 30 years. So are you saying that no? So let's say that he was in an all rotting state in 30 years and Remnant was kept him alive. He couldn't find his father for 30 years. But the first thing he would have probably done was look to all the Fazbear restaurant chains, right? He could have went there. He could have hid it. He could have searched there. He had 30 years to search for them. And even if he told us he didn't find any, bro, it's all in the news, right? Like he probably knew where his father was last, for example, at least, or what his father was doing, right? So he was probably like, oh, my father was, well, he did not know about the safe room. It was sealed. Yeah, but how did the people that find him did? How did the other people find the safe room then? If it was so sealed, or if it was like a hellish. Yeah, but I mean, he could have searched 30 years. What was he doing in 30 years? Like that's the only way that makes sense.
How those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find
Maybe
rest
they
now.
started to
Not
destroy
like
the
this.
room and
I have
found
to
it.
call them all back.
Probably.
All of them. Together in one
30
place.
years is a long
By
time.
gathering all of the
What
animatronics
was
in
he
one
doing in
place
30
and
years?
locking them
For
in the
30 years,
same
sorry.
room, he would be able to burn them all to the ground for good, effectively freeing their spirits in the process. In order to do this, Henry created a new restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. He knew that the spirits and William couldn't resist coming back to a new location, even if it was all just a trap. Charlie was different though. She was smarter than the rest, so Henry knew she wouldn't be as easily fooled. So he created an animatronic called Lefty, standing for Lure, Encapsulate, Fuse, Transport, and Extract, specifically to
And the 30 years is. Yeah, but okay, there's another plot hole then. If it slows down rotting, then when the people found him, wouldn't the smell be obvious? Wouldn't the bone inside the animatronics be obvious, right? Right, because the bones decompose way later than the muscles, for example. The smell, the flesh, the bones could have been obvious in that situation. They were like, oh my god, there's someone inside. They could have called the cops, they could have called the police. They were like, oh, this is the evidence. We have to find the killer that they were talking about, the killer that has been killing children or kidnapping children for like a couple of for 30 years, by the way. For 30 years. Plot hole lord was changed like 5 times minimum. Like that's a big plot hole, both for Michael and William.
capture the
Obviously,
puppet and
Edwin.
bring it to the pizzeria. While trying to find someone that would help him carry out his plan,
Oh, not
one
Edwin.
person showed
After-
up
I
for the
don't know what his
job.
name-
A person who was also determined to finally end all of this. Michael Afton. Day after
And Michael Afton is still alive for somehow not rotting. Okay, let's say it's a remnant that he's not rotting, right? But the smell is still there though, like
day,
for 30 years. But Michael is so
back, lil
sick.
bro.
Yo, welcome back, Jesse. Welcome back. And FNAF 3 was supposed to be the last game when it came out. Really? Damn, okay.
animatronic.
Bro, if FNAF 3 was really the last one, then people will. Bro, the game would have ended at a very big, huge cliff. Cliffhang? Cliffhang? Yes.
animatronics roaming the streets would show up in the alleyway next to the pizzeria. Baby, aka Elizabeth, the souls of the missing children and the crying child, now appearing as Molten Freddy, Charlie and Lefty, and his father, William, all showed up in the back alley. Michael would then collect each animatronic and throw them into a facility under the pizzeria, designed to be a maze with no exit, where the animatronics would roam around without even knowing they're trapped, until the end of the week, where they would all be burned to the ground. With all of the souls, including William himself, now in one place, Henry's plan was in motion. As far as Elizabeth and William were concerned, this was a good thing.
Like, look, like, you can see, like, couldn't they have seen the skull? Like, look and see, like, I'm pretty sure that's a muscle, I'm pretty sure that's a skull. Like, there's a smell, there's a skull, you can see it. You can see these parts breaking. Like, let's say that this was caused by the fire, but even prior to the fire, you can see the damage, right? Yeah, that's his skull. Like, you're seeing the people that find him. Obviously, let's say that this happened after the fire. Like, prior to the fire, we saw the picture, right? Prior to the fire, there were still some damages, right? So when they find him, wouldn't they have noticed the blood? Because this, like, pierced him. Like, here, much blood. Okay, but let's say that the blood dried up. It's still red. The pigment is still there, right? I don't think it's red, but it changes color, but you can still get the smell is there.
Wrap?
Would you kiss Springtrap? Fuck no.
All of this remnant now in one place was all that they wanted, until Henry stepped in.
You played right into our hands. Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you? No. This was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls.
Even his body has a plot hole. After this, as burn trap, he get his left hand back. I mean, since he's an animatronic, he better just make another one. So that's not as big of a plot hole.
In one place, just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy. Watch. Listen. And be full.
Oh, there's the
Connection
bone
terminated.
Oh, never mind.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth. If you still even remember that name. But I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift. Nor have you been called here by the individual you assume, although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and
like,
smells.
see, this guy, the creator of Mimic, is still alive. He's still alive, right? And he sounds hella young. But in the Mimic kills him at his like 40 or something like that. Yeah, Henry, yes, Henry. I keep calling him Edwin for some reason. He's still alive. He sounds young, right?
Misdirection and misfortune. A labyrinth.
But in the Mimic, he died. I think at. I think the Mimic killed him at. What was it? I think. Henry. At what age? At what age did Henry died? FNAF. So 60s to 70s. Henry exact job when he died from Friday. Never stated, but fans estimate by 60s to 70s, right? But if I write Mimic. Wait, he didn't die in the Mimic? He dies now. Ah, okay, wait. So the Mimic didn't kill him. Wait, so Henry was alive when Mimic killed his wife or copied his wife and then left? Or did Mimic happen after? When did Mimic happen? I forgot about that one. That was Edwin. Who's Edwin and who's Henry? I keep forgetting. Edwin dies to Mimic. Ah, who's Edwin then? I thought Henry and Edwin were the same person, or at least. What? Okay, who created the Mimic? Was it Edwin that created the Mimic, or was it Henry that created the Mimic? Edwin's the one who created AI we talked about. Ah, okay.
You don't even realize.
Like, even so, Edwin, he hit fucking smart people. Okay, so there was 3 of them, by the way. 3 of them. Okay.
Your lust for blood has driven you in endless
And then
circles,
this fucker Henry,
chasing the cries of children in some
his daughter died.
chamber,
He knew about all the
so near,
atrocities.
yet somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby.
But Michael, still he's not even the god. I can't even glaze Michael, bro. I can't even try to. I was.
This place.
Like I can't say that. Oh yeah, your bravery is commendable, because this dumbass spent 30 years in vain. He didn't do shit for 30 years.
Will not be remembered.
Probably longer.
Memory of
Probably
everything
longer.
that started this can finally begin to fade away as the agony of
I mean, like after that, like for example, causing the fire, initial fire, the second fire, he caused two fires, right, to like destroy everyone. Like, oh yes, they're commendable, and I'm pretty sure he kills himself here, or else he gets burned with other mimics. So yeah, commendable, you know, his bravery and shit. But I can't even do that because for 30 years he didn't do shit. If the 30-year thing is correct.
Every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace and perhaps more waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. My daughter.
How did he survive this? He literally got pancaked. He literally got pancaked. How did he survive this?
If you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then. So let me save you now.
After 10 or after 40 years. After 40 fucking years. Oh my god. Save you now. Oh fuck, what were you doing in 40 years? You're more of a bum than fucking Michael.
It's time to rest for you and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends, for all of us, in communication.
Henry putting fire to the animatronics may have freed the spirits from the metal of the robots, but some of them still needed help actually moving on into the afterlife. This help would come from Charlie. She helped guide the spirits into the robots. Now she would help them move on. In the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, the way a spirit can move on is by them being put into a happy memory. The memory Charlie chose actually comes from the crying child and the day he got bit. Piece by piece, Charlie put that terrible, shattered memory back together. But this time she would change it.
Fire.
Of course, bro. Henry's a dumbass. Like, are you saying that you guys disagree? Are you saying that you guys disagree? Henry waited 40 years to avenge his fucking daughter. 40 years, probably more. Probably more. Right? Because he is estimated to die 70, and he probably had a child and was married and was working with William at the, at the age of 25 to 30, right? So for 40 fucking years, right, this guy was sitting on his ass, jerking off and sucking his own fucking balls, right? Like, what?
Into a happy memory instead of the crying child getting bit on.
Henry, and here's the thing, you can't even say that Henry didn't know about these kind of things. Henry knew that he killed his daughter, right? So he knew all this information. He had all this. Bro was rage baited, but rage baited still to his 70. I don't care, bro. I don't care. Oh my god, like. What was he doing? He knew about the atrocities. He didn't even try. He didn't even say the cops. He should have at least said the cops. If he wasn't going to do shit, tell the fucking cops. For 40 years, he knew he had this information. He knew who killed the kids. He knew who kidnapped the kids. He knew who was stealing the animatronics. He knew why this kind of things happened. He knew.
Herney was cracking the mimic.
Probably was. He probably made the mimic into some hot celebrity or something like that.
On his birthday,
Oh
Charlie changed it so that all of the missing kids and Charlie would celebrate him, giving him a giant birthday.
The police did nothing because there was no evidence. Yeah, but Henry had all the fucking evidence. Henry knew where the brother Charlie, was it? The Charlie. Henry knew where Charlie was buried, right? Henry knew who killed his daughter. Henry had the evidence, right? It wasn't enough. The backyard! There's a fucking child! In the fucking pizzeria! Behind the pizzeria, there's a child buried there! What do you mean it wasn't enough? What do you mean that's not enough? That's more than enough! What more evidence do you need? And here's the thing. The security guard, right? The slender thing, had camera in it. So if Henry went to the security guard, got in the video from it, downloaded it, and gave it to the fucking police, they would have known. If Henry told them, oh, check the animatronics, they would have known. But now, what did Henry do? Suck his dick!
Herney
By
really
changing
wanted
that
to
terrible
crack the
memory
mimic.
into a happy
I
one
know,
and
bro.
attaching
Oh my
all
God.
of the spirits to it, they were able to successfully pass into the afterlife.
It could have been someone else's work. Yes, we know it's William. Someone else's work that the Charlie died. Someone else's work that it's not Charlie died. But for some reason, he hits, instead of like making it public, he hits his child in the backyard of the same pizzeria that he died. Henry knowing, William knowing, Michael knowing. The mother probably knew too. The friends knew, the friends of fucking Michael. But the police is 100% proof with pictures or videos. There's a dead body literally in the backyard. Here's the thing. William knew. William's friend knew. Henry knew. Obviously, sorry, not William. Michael knew. Michael's friend knew. William knew. Henry knew. There were CCTV cameras there, by the way, where the head gets crushed, right? So if Henry went said, they could have checked the CCTV cameras. They could have interviewed for example, the friends. They could have interviewed the Michael, right? They could have interviewed the father. If this happened, I will tell you 100% sure, William wouldn't have went on a killing spree. A dead body does not prove anything. Bro, there were cameras there. People there. See, here's the thing. If Michael was caught, right? The animatronics would have been shut down, right? The animatronics would have been, the pizzeria would have been shut down, right? Michael would have went to the jail. And William would have never known about that soul possession. So William, there's a high chance that William would have never done that ever again. Would have never done it again. Like that killing it. Wouldn't have done it again. The camera can't make videos out of sight. Yeah, but we know we don't need to know that. We don't need to know that. Here's the thing. We saw Michael put his brother's head in the fucking animatronics. It got crushed, it died, and now the body's in the backyard. What more proof do you need? You know who killed it? You know who was the instigator? And you know where the body is. And you know what the weapon is, right? And then same with the child. Henry knew where the kids was hiding, or where he was hiding the kids. So if he had told the police to check the animatronics inside of the animatronics, boom, case proved. We know who killed it. We know where at least we know where the body is. Yeah, but the police needs to know with proof, not just
In
some
Lost
saying it was him.
WTF is going on?
What do you mean some proof? What the fuck more proof do you need, Ekchan? What the fuck more proof do you need? There's a fucking video proof of who did it, who put the head, how many children, how many teenagers was there, how many teenagers killed it. There is a video proof of who obviously it was Springtide in a suit, killed it, right? Okay, so we know, so here's the thing, we know, yeah, okay, let's say that we don't know, okay, let's forget about Charlie, let's think of the 5 kids that was inside the animatronics, right? If Henry has told that it was this guy, right? He would have been investigated at least. Here's the thing: he didn't even get investigated by the police. He would have at least William would have got investigated. At least we would have known where the bodies were, right? At least we would have known where the bodies were. Here's the thing: are you saying the police isn't going to suspect, isn't going to keep more of an eye on them? That like, oh yeah, so a guy wearing the same suit that is in this pizzeria hides the body in this pizzeria inside the animatronics for multiple days, right? And then the owner doesn't share shit about this? Are you saying the owner doesn't know what's happening inside his own restaurant? Like what? What do you mean? There wasn't a video about this. This video literally states, like, it was around this part. The video literally states that they had the camera, but they didn't know because he was wearing the suit. They didn't know because he was wearing the suit who was the killer. And they couldn't find the body because they didn't check the fucking animatronics. So they knew the kids died, right? But they couldn't find who was behind the suit. Like, what? The only bodies found was the ones put it in the public, and video didn't do anything. Yeah, but here's the thing. He would have been investigated. Are you saying that if the police found out that, oh, it is pizzeria by this owner having the same suit, being inside the animatronics for multiple days, and the owner not knowing anything about it, even though the owner goes inside this store multiple times because he's a manager? Are you saying that that's not suspicious? Are you saying that the police would have been so dumb not to investigate it? I'm not saying to go straight arrest that guy, right? Go put him straight to the jail. But investigate him, right? Have more evidence. Have multiple detectives working on it. Bro, I would swear to you, they would have found the weapon, the knife. They would have found traces in the suit, right? They would have found the blood patterns. They would have found how the kids died, right? They would find when the kids died, right? They would find they did not find the suit. They didn't find the suit of William, but the animatronics was inside the it was in the safe room. No. Here's the thing. They said that no one suspected to check the animatronics. No one said suspected to check the animatronics. And are you saying that if Henry told them, wouldn't have police ordered William to, bring the animatronics out? Take us to the safe room? Henry knew about the safe room. Are you saying that if Henry gave them tipped them, this is Spring Bonnie. Yeah, okay, so even if they couldn't find the Spring Bonnie, we know where the bodies were, right? The bodies were inside the safe room for multiple days, right? And they needed proof suit of the killer, yes. But are you saying are you saying that if you're a fucking owner of a restaurant, right, for example, right, and then you have these animatronics, and then you find out that there's kids inside them trapped multiple times a day, and then the police comes, are you saying the police is not going to suspect you? Because you're the manager. You didn't notice in your own restaurant for multiple. Sadly, no. What do you mean, sadly, no? Oh my god. Bro, our world isn't just like, oh yeah, of course you need concrete proof, but there's an investigation. Once a police or a detective or some sort of FBI,
spent more time arguing about this than watching the video, I swear.
I mean, come on, it's a valid take, right? Like, think about it. If a police or someone that's investigating you finds something investigating worthy, that shit is going to investigate you until, bro, there have been cases that have been going for 10 years. It's a valid thing to argue about. I know. Like, it's been 10, like, there are some cases. Okay, what's the longest case What is the longest case? What is the longest case ever? The longest running legal case in history estimated the Battle of Miracle Clock, which lasted for 57 to 60 years. For specific trial types, for long criminal trial was prosecuted for trial 999 days, and longest English trial was McCable case. Are you saying, see, for 50 to 60 years, are you saying that they would have investigated this fucker? They would have kept their eyes on this fucker for like 60 years? Oh my god. So many plot holes.
They were all able to move on. Except for one.
And it's Charlie. Solid proof. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think is what do you think investigating means? Investigating means to finding a solid proof. I swear to you, if they had checked it, they would have found a solid proof.
Not Charlie.
Yeah, Yeah, okay, Cassidy. I thought it was this Charlie. Damn, Cassidy be like. And he's not into a pancake. How is he not turning into a pancake? Okay, wait. This suggested that Cassidy became the new Springtrap. What? Is this a plot hole?
Cassidy, the most vengeful spirit of them all, wasn't done yet. He decided to attach his soul to Williams, making sure that William was unable to move on. By attaching his spirit to Williams, he was able to trap Afton in an endless loop of death. He made Afton relive every one of his terrible misdeeds. The fear experiments, his underground bunker, and the pizzeria where Cassidy was killed. Afton experienced all of this while being attacked and killed over and over again by all of the animatronics from his past. Every time an animatronic would attack him, Cassidy would be there, reminding him that the suffering will never end.
We've only just begun. I will never let you leave. I will never let you rest.
He tried to release you. He tried to release us, but I'm not gonna let that happen. I will hold you here. I will keep you here, no matter how many times they burn us.
Cassidy knew that Afton didn't deserve the afterlife. He deserved to pay for what he's done for all of eternity. But if you keep up with the franchise, you know that that's not the end of the story. Like I said at the beginning of the video, making a FNAF timeline is not easy, no matter what anyone says. In broad strokes, you can explain the basic plot, but once you get down to the motivations and the why of everything, you have to start filling in the blanks yourself. Some people who've helped me fill in the blanks that I'd like to shout out are Right Host for his theory about Cassidy being spring-locked in Golden Freddy. I think that makes a lot of sense and is really satisfying for the narrative. Also, I'd like to shout out MattPat for his theory about Midnight Motorist. After trying to figure that minigame out for years, I think your explanation makes the most sense. It's important for me to say that no one except for Scott Cawthon himself knows the exact story he was trying to tell. So please make sure to watch other people's timelines as well and come to your own conclusion on everything. And when the time is right, I'll be back to tackle the newer games in this franchise. Until then, make sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.
I don't know.